If you are raising livestock on half an acre and wondering why the numbers never seem to add up, you are not alone. Across small properties everywhere, people are pouring time, money, and energy into animals that quietly drain their resources while giving very little back. It looks productive from the outside. There is movement, there is noise, there is a satisfaction of caring for animals. But when you step back and look at the real numbers, many small farmers discover something uncomfortable. The animals they chose were never designed to create strong income on limited land. The truth is simple, but rarely talked about. Half-acre farming plays by a completely different set of rules. What works on large farms often fails on small ones. Space is limited. Feed efficiency becomes critical. Labor has to be smarter, not harder. And every square meter of land must justify its existence by producing real value. When that balance is off, the farm becomes a lifestyle expense instead of a reliable source of income. Today, we are breaking down exactly which common farm animals often underperform on small properties and why they quietly reduce small farm profit. More importantly, we will explore smarter alternatives that align with efficient land use, stronger margins, and long-term sustainability. By the end, you'll understand how to transform a small piece of land into a system that supports financial security farming instead of constant expense. Half-acre farming attracts a wide range of people. Some are beginners dreaming of self-sufficient living. Others are exploring retirement farming ideas, hoping their land can provide both purpose and steady retirement income. Many are looking for backyard livestock income that supplements their main earnings. But regardless of the reason, success depends on understanding that small property farming is not about raising the biggest animals or following traditional patterns. It is about efficiency, turnover speed, and stacking income streams in a way that works with limited space. Before we talk about better options, we need to address the animals that often create the biggest challenges on small land. These animals are not bad. They simply require more space, more feed, or more infrastructure than a half-acre can realistically support without squeezing profits. The first animal many people dream about is cattle. There is something iconic about raising cows. They represent traditional farming, strength, and abundance. But on half an acre, cattle quickly become one of the least efficient choices possible. Cows require significant grazing space, constant feed input, strong fencing, and regular maintenance. The cost of feed alone can erase potential profits, especially when pasture is limited. Infrastructure costs such as shelters and fencing add up quickly, turning what seemed like a rewarding investment into a financial burden. When you calculate output compared to space used, cattle consistently rank among the lowest performers for small-scale livestock systems. For anyone focused on profitable homesteading, they rarely make sense on limited land. Pigs are another animal that many small farmers consider because of their fast growth and high meat demand. At first glance, they appear to offer strong returns. However, pigs are extremely feed-intensive. They require constant input, careful waste management, and strong enclosures. On a half-acre, feed costs can climb rapidly, and the labor required to maintain cleanliness and health reduces the potential for passive farm income. While pigs can be profitable on larger properties with access to low-cost feed sources, they often struggle to generate strong margins on small land where efficiency is critical. Sheep are often viewed as low-maintenance animals, but their profitability on small properties can be inconsistent. They require grazing space, protection from predators, and ongoing care. Market prices can fluctuate, and wool production alone rarely justifies the space required. When land is limited, sheep tend to produce slower returns compared to smaller animals that reproduce more quickly and require less space. For those focused on building a sustainable homestead, sheep can be part of the system, but rarely the core driver of income on half an acre. Standard goats are frequently recommended for small farms because of their adaptability. They can browse on a variety of plants and require less space than cattle. However, goats come with hidden costs that many beginners underestimate. Fencing must be strong and secure because goats are known escape artists. Feed supplementation is often required to maintain health and production. Veterinary care, breeding management, and infrastructure all contribute to ongoing expenses. While goats can be valuable for milk or meat, their profitability depends heavily on management efficiency, and on very small land, they can consume more resources than expected. Chickens are perhaps the most common livestock choice for backyard farming tips and small-scale livestock systems. They are approachable, relatively low cost to start, and provide eggs that many households enjoy. But when it comes to building significant backyard livestock income, chickens can be surprisingly challenging unless managed carefully. Feed costs, predator protection, housing, and ongoing care can reduce margins, especially when egg prices fluctuate. Dual-purpose chickens can provide both meat and eggs, but they still require careful scaling to become a meaningful income source. Many small farmers discover that chickens are excellent for personal use, but require larger numbers and strong market access to generate consistent profit. Understanding why these animals struggle on small properties is not about discouragement. It is about clarity. Small property farming requires a mindset shift away from traditional models and towards systems that maximize output per square meter. The goal is not simply to raise animals. The goal is to build a system where each component supports the others while contributing to overall profitability. Smart small farmers approach their land differently. They focus on animals that reproduce quickly, require minimal space, and offer multiple income streams. They think in terms of stacking benefits, where one activity supports another. This approach reduces risk, improves resilience, and creates a more sustainable homestead model that can adapt over time. For many people exploring homesteading for seniors or planning retirement income strategies, this shift is especially important. Physical energy may be more limited, making efficiency and simplicity essential. Choosing the right livestock can mean the difference between a system that feels overwhelming and one that provides steady passive farm income with manageable effort. As we move forward, we will explore the animals that align more closely with efficient land use and strong returns. These options often require less space, lower feed costs, and provide faster turnover, making them ideal for profitable homesteading on small properties. They are the animals that allow small farms to operate more like smart businesses rather than constant projects. But before we dive into those alternatives, it is important to recognize that the most successful small farms are built on intentional decisions. Every choice, from infrastructure to animal selection, should support the overall goal of creating a balanced system. When the pieces fit together, even a half-acre can become a powerful engine for income and self-sufficient living. In the next section, we will begin exploring the mindset shift that separates struggling small farms from thriving ones, and why focusing on efficiency and diversification is a key to unlocking real profit potential on limited land. The biggest difference between small farms that struggle and those that thrive is not luck, and it is not even experience. It is perspective. Successful small property farmers understand that land is not just space. It is a resource that must be optimized. Every decision is filtered through one simple question. Does this increase efficiency and long-term small farm profit? Or does it simply add more work without meaningful return? This is where many traditional approaches begin to fall apart. Large animals were historically chosen because land was abundant, grazing space was not a limiting factor, and feed costs were lower relative to output. But on a half-acre, the equation changes completely. Efficiency becomes a new currency. The animals that win are not the biggest or the most impressive. They are the ones that produce the highest value with the lowest resource input. When farmers begin to think this way, a powerful shift happens. Instead of focusing on what has always been done, they start focusing on what works best for their specific conditions. They begin exploring small-scale livestock systems that prioritize rapid reproduction, multiple revenue streams, and minimal space requirements. This approach creates resilience and opens a door to consistent backyard livestock income. One of the most important principles in profitable homesteading is stacking. Stacking means designing a system where each element supports another, reducing waste and increasing overall productivity. For example, animals that provide manure can support gardening, which in turn reduces feed costs. Pollinators increase crop yields. Smaller livestock can rotate through spaces that would otherwise sit unused. When stacking is done correctly, the farm becomes an ecosystem rather than a collection of separate tasks. This is particularly important for those exploring retirement farming ideas. As people look for ways to create steady retirement income from land, they often want systems that are manageable, predictable, and not physically overwhelming. Smaller livestock options tend to align perfectly with these goals because they're easier to manage while still offering strong returns. Another factor that separates thriving farms from struggling ones is turnover speed. Animals that reproduce quickly allow farmers to scale production faster and respond to market demand. Faster cycles also reduce financial risk because investments are recovered sooner. When turnover is slow, profits are delayed, and unexpected costs can have a larger impact. For anyone focused on financial security farming, faster cycles provide stability and flexibility. Now let us explore the animals that consistently perform well on small properties and align with these principles. These are the livestock options that have gained popularity among experienced small farmers because they combine efficiency, strong demand, and manageable care requirements. Rabbits are often considered one of the most efficient livestock choices for small land, and for good reason. Rabbit farming profit potential comes from their rapid reproduction cycle, minimal space requirements, and high feed conversion efficiency. Rabbits can produce multiple litters each year, allowing farmers to scale production quickly. They require relatively simple housing and can thrive in compact systems. Meat demand remains steady in many markets, and rabbits also produce manure that can enhance soil fertility. For small farms focused on maximizing output per square meter, rabbits consistently rank among the top performers. Beyond their production benefits, rabbits are also well suited for those seeking a manageable workload. Their quiet nature and straightforward care routines make them accessible for beginners and appealing for homesteading for seniors who want livestock that does not require heavy physical labor. When managed properly, rabbits can provide both reliable income and valuable byproducts that support other parts of the homestead. Beekeeping offers a completely different but equally powerful opportunity. Beekeeping income comes not only from honey production, but also from wax, propolis, and pollination services. Bees require very little space compared to most livestock, making them ideal for half-acre farming systems. Once established, hives can generate passive farm income with relatively low ongoing maintenance. In addition to their direct financial benefits, bees improve crop yields by enhancing pollination, creating a ripple effect that increases overall farm productivity. For many small farmers, bees represent the perfect example of working smarter instead of harder. They contribute to self-sufficient living while supporting a sustainable homestead model that benefits both the farm and the surrounding environment. The presence of pollinators can transform gardens, orchards, and vegetable plots, turning them into more productive and resilient systems. Quail have emerged as one of the fastest growing opportunities in the quail farming business space, especially among small property farmers. These birds are incredibly efficient, requiring minimal space while producing eggs at a remarkable rate. Their rapid maturity means farmers can begin generating returns quickly, making quail an attractive option for those looking to build backyard livestock income without waiting long periods for results. Feed costs are relatively low, and their compact housing requirements allow them to fit easily into small-scale livestock setups. Quail eggs have gained popularity in many markets due to their nutritional value and culinary appeal. This growing demand creates opportunities for farmers to establish niche markets and differentiate their products. For anyone focused on profitable homesteading, quail offer a powerful combination of speed, efficiency, and market potential. Ducks provide another versatile option for small farms. They offer dual income streams through eggs and meat while also contributing to pest control in gardens. Ducks tend to be hardy and adaptable, making them easier to manage than many larger animals. Their ability to forage can help reduce feed costs when integrated into a well-planned system. For farmers looking to diversify their operations and build resilience, ducks can play an important role in creating balanced and productive environments. Niche livestock options such as snails have also gained attention among innovative farmers, seeking new ways to maximize small property farming potential. Snails require very little space and can be raised in controlled environments. Demand for snail meat continues to grow in certain markets, creating opportunities for farmers willing to explore less traditional paths. While not as widely adopted as other livestock, snails demonstrate the importance of thinking creatively when designing systems for limited land. As these examples show, the most profitable farm animals for small properties share several key characteristics. They reproduce quickly, require minimal space, have manageable feed costs, and offer multiple revenue streams. When combined thoughtfully, they create systems that generate consistent income while maintaining flexibility and resilience. Another advantage of focusing on smaller livestock is scalability. Farmers can start with a modest setup and expand gradually as demand grows. This approach reduces financial risk and allows for learning and adaptation along the way. Instead of making large upfront investments, small farmers can build confidence and refine their systems over time, creating a more stable path toward long-term success. As we move toward the next section, we will break down how these alternatives compare directly to traditional livestock in terms of profit potential, startup costs, and overall efficiency. Understanding these comparisons will provide clarity and help you make informed decisions about where to focus your energy and resources. When you place traditional livestock and small-scale alternatives side by side, the differences become impossible to ignore. Profitability on limited land is not about which animals are most familiar. It is about which animals convert space, time, and resources into consistent returns. Understanding this comparison is where clarity begins because it removes emotion from decision-making and replaces it with measurable outcomes. Let us start with space efficiency. Large animals like cattle and pigs require significant room just to maintain basic health and productivity. On a half-acre, they quickly consume available space without producing enough output to justify their footprint. In contrast, animals like rabbits, quail, and bees operate in compact systems that leave room for gardens, storage, and additional income streams. This alone dramatically increases the productive capacity of small property farming because it allows multiple activities to coexist instead of competing for space. Feed costs is another area where the gap becomes clear. Larger livestock consume substantial amount of feed every day, creating ongoing expenses that can fluctuate with market prices. Smaller animals tend to have much better feed conversion ratios, meaning they require less input to produce each unit of output. When feed efficiency improves, margins widen, and the farm becomes more resilient to price changes. For anyone focused on building a sustainable homestead, this difference can determine whether the system thrives or struggles. Startup costs also play a major role in determining success. Infrastructure for large livestock often includes strong fencing, large shelters, and specialized equipment. These costs can quickly consume capital before any income is generated. Smaller livestock systems, on the other hand, are typically more affordable to establish. Housing can be simpler, space requirements are lower, and expansion can happen gradually. This approach makes it easier to treat the farm as a homestead investment that grows over time instead of a large upfront financial commitment. Turnover speed is perhaps one of the most overlooked factors. Animals that reproduce quickly provide faster returns and allow farmers to respond more effectively to demand. Rabbits and quail, for example, can produce multiple generations within a single year, creating opportunities to scale production without waiting long periods. Faster cycles mean cash flow improves, and farmers can reinvest profits into improving their systems. For those seeking reliable retirement income from their land, faster turnover creates stability and reduces uncertainty. Risk management also improves when smaller livestock are part of the system. With large animals, a single health issue or unexpected expense can have a significant financial impact. Smaller animals spread risk across multiple units, reducing the effect of any single loss. This diversification strengthens financial security farming strategies and helps maintain steady progress even when challenges arise. Now that we have explored the comparisons, the next step is understanding how to transition from less efficient livestock to systems that better support small farm profit. Change does not have to happen all at once. In fact, gradual transitions often produce the best results because they allow time to learn, adapt, and build confidence. The first step in any transition is evaluation. Look at your current setup and identify which animals are producing the highest returns relative to their space and cost. This process provides valuable insight into where adjustments can create the greatest impact. By focusing on measurable results, decisions become clearer and more strategic. Starting small is one of the most effective ways to introduce new livestock options. Adding a few rabbit hutches or a small quail setup allows you to learn management techniques without overwhelming your existing system. As experience grows and markets develop, expansion becomes easier and more predictable. This approach aligns perfectly with profitable homesteading principles because it balances growth with stability. Testing markets is another critical step. Before scaling production, explore local demand and identify potential buyers. Farmers markets, local restaurants, and direct sales channels can provide valuable feedback and help establish relationships. Understanding demand ensures that increased production translates into real income instead of surplus without buyers. Diversification strengthens resilience and creates multiple revenue streams. Combining rabbits, bees, and quail, for example, spreads risk while maximizing space efficiency. Each component contributes to overall productivity, creating a balanced system that can adapt to changing conditions. This strategy supports passive farm income while maintaining flexibility. Integration with gardening and crop production further enhances efficiency. Manure from small livestock can improve soil fertility, reducing the need for external inputs. Pollination from bees increases yields, creating additional income opportunities. These connections transform the farm into a cohesive system where each element supports the others, reinforcing the principles of self-sufficient living. As these changes take shape, many farmers discover that their workload becomes more manageable even as productivity increases. Smaller livestock often require less physical strain, making them ideal for homesteading for seniors or anyone seeking a sustainable pace of work. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, the farm becomes a source of satisfaction and stability. The final piece of the puzzle is mindset. Success in small-scale livestock systems comes from viewing the farm as an evolving project rather than a fixed model. Markets change, opportunities emerge, and new techniques become available. Staying curious and open to learning ensures that the farm continues to improve over time, strengthening both profitability and resilience. When all these elements come together, the transformation can be remarkable. A half-acre that once struggled to break even can become a productive environment that supports consistent income and meaningful self-reliance. The shift does not happen overnight, but with thoughtful planning and intentional choices, progress builds steadily. Small land does not limit potential. In many ways, it encourages smarter decisions and more efficient systems. By focusing on animals that align with limited space and strong demand, farmers can create operations that deliver both financial and personal rewards. The key is recognizing that traditional approaches are not always the best fit for modern small property farming realities. As you think about your own land, consider which changes could move you closer to your goals. Whether you are seeking stronger backyard livestock income, exploring retirement farming ideas, or building a sustainable homestead for the future, the path forward begins with choosing the right systems. Efficiency, diversification, and intentional planning create the foundation for long-term success. Half-acre farming is not about doing more. It is about doing what works best. When every square meter is used wisely, even a small property can become a powerful engine for growth, stability, and opportunity. By focusing on profitable farm animals that match your space and resources, you create a system that supports both your lifestyle and your financial goals. The journey toward profitable homesteading is not defined by the size of your land, but by the clarity of your strategy. With the right approach, your property can provide more than food. It can provide security, independence, and a sense of purpose that grows stronger with each season.